So function is an important concept which will enhance the modularity of a program. So what is meant by modularity of the program? So when you split up the program into phases, or when you split up the program into subprograms, that is called as functions. We can say it is called as a modularity of a program. So without learning functions, learning PHP will become a meaningless one. Uh, so you know that nearly 80 to 90% of the websites today in the world has been developed with the help of this language called as PHP. Even our like TNAB portal and SBI portal, all these things are being developed by PHP. So if you see the extension in that, you will be able to find the .php files over there. So it's a highly important concept called as functions. So we'll be learning about functions today. What is meant by functions? We'll also do how to work it out. I have given a set of assignments here. So we'll just learn how to work it out. So this will be a more interactive session and a practical session today. So we'll go in a pragmatic approach. Instead of going in a theoretical basis, we will go for a pragmatic approach. We'll learn what is meant by functions. So to come to the definition of what is meant by functions, so we call it as functions as subprograms. For example, if you want to develop application called as calculator, let us understand that we want to develop a fundamental calculator which performs mathematical fundamental operations. So what you used to do, you used to perform addition, you used to perform subtraction, multiplication, division, all these things, all fundamentals, logarithmic. So the best programmer will not write a single program and will not execute operations in sequence. What he will use to do for addition, he will write one program, and multiplication he will write some program, and then he used to call this, and finally he will make an integration over there. So this is called as the nature of functions here. So we will split up the main program into portions, and then we will club it together, and finally we'll integrate that so that the output will be in full-fledged manner. Okay, so function is nothing but it is called as a subprogram which is intended to perform a specific task. Say for example, I give a sum of amount to you. Say for example, for instance, if I give 20,000, if I ask you to calculate 5% simple interest for the rate of 2 years. So immediately what you used to do, you will get an amount, you will get a rate of interest and then number of years, and you will just find what is the rate of interest over there by writing a functions, and you will give me the output. So you will give a set of input and you will get an output by using a function. So function is nothing but a subprogram which is intended to perform a specific task. Okay. And the most beauty part of functions is, even if you write a function, it will become an inefficient one if you don't call it. If you write a function and if you don't call a function, that function will become inefficient. That means it will not work. It will stay ideal. So whenever you write a function, it should be called. A function can be called inside as well as outside. So if you call the function from inside itself, we call it as a recursive function. And if you call a function from outside of it, automatically it executes. So in both ways you can call, either inside or outside of the function. And one function can be called from another function. So this is the nature of functions. It's all about the definition of a function. The first part is function is a subprogram which performs an intended specific task. The second one is you can call it either from inside or outside of the function. And the third one, one function can call other function. So this is the beauty of functions. And generally, whenever you come for any sort of languages, a function can be classified into two types. So the function which is shipped along with the language is called as built-in function. For example, in C programming, you can say printf. Printf is one of the function which comes along with C. So you have not written any function called as printf here. And similarly, when you go for Java, there is a function called as println. That is also a function which is shipped along with the language. So that is, any language or any function which is shipped along with the language is called as a built-in function. We call it as built-in function. So the functions which comes along with the language is called as built-in function. And another function is where the user is intended to perform any task. For example, I ask you to calculate who is the maximum scorer in a particular semester. So you write a function, you write a program, and you try to calculate you try to get me the output of it. For example, you write a function called as get maximum. So this function is called as a user defined function. So whenever you write a function on your own, then it is called as a user defined function. So I will give you a practical clarity on this. For example, I write a function called as echo, whether it is a built-in function or it is a user-defined function. Anyone can answer. The question I throw it on open. I write a function called as echo. Okay, whether this is a built-in function or user-defined function. Anyone can answer.
Built-in function, sir.
Okay, because Mukundan is answering. So built-in function. So a language, a function which comes along with the language is called as a built-in function. Okay, I write a function called as get average. Get average. Whether this function is a built-in function or user-defined function. I throw the question again in open. I think anyone can answer.
User-defined function.
User-defined function. You can see that based upon your observation, I can see that you have got the clarity what is the difference between built-in and user-defined function. Okay, so we'll be learning about this function in an elaborate fashion, and I have also given an assignment. I will solve this assignment today. So a little bit complicated. Okay, so now the function, we can say that there are two types of functions as far as PHP is concerned. Whenever we talk about functions in PHP, we can say a function is having a definition. So what is meant by definition? If we say that what a function is going to do, that is called as a definition. For example, I can write a function called as add. I write a function called as add, and if I leave it open, okay, yeah, I leave it open inside it. I have a curly brackets inside this, and from the name of the function, you can come to an understanding that the function is going to add two variables. Okay, so if I say that a function, what a function is going to do, that is called as the definition of a function. And a function call, and unless and until you call a function, the function will become ineffective. Even if I write a function of 100 lines, and if I don't call it, that will become useless. So it will end up in futility. Whatever the function you write, if you don't call it, the operation of the function will become futile. So even if you write 100 lines or 150 lines, that will become meaningless and it will become void if you don't call it. Okay, so it will become meaningful only if you call a function. So these are the two major parts. One is called as function definition. What is meant by function definition? If I say what a function is going to do, that is called as definition of a function. If I say, if I just call a function from outside of the function, I can say it is called as a function call. Okay, so this is these are the two major parts of functions here, the function definition and function call. Okay, so here I have incorporated a code snippet here. Okay, so can anyone tell me whether this is a function definition or a function call?
It is a function definition, sir.
It's a function definition. Okay, only Mugundan is answering. Okay, what about others? Mugundan, okay. I'll come one by one so that I want the entire class to be interactive with me at the moment of time. Okay, this is an odd time. I don't want to see. I don't want to switch on your cameras at the time. Okay, so without switching on your camera, I have to ensure that everyone is listening with patience and active. So that's why I will call one by one. Whenever I find time during the course of the lecture, I will just call one by one so that you can interact with me, and we will make this session a fruitful session. Okay. So this is called as function definition. I have said what the function is going to do. In short, if a function is having a function body, we can say that is called as a definition of the function. Okay. Here, even if I don't write anything, you can see that three statements are inside curly brackets here. If I say three, even if I don't write these three statements and I leave the curly brackets as empty, then we can say that that is also called as a function definition. Okay. So a function definition is going to say what a function is going to do. Okay, so I will just give you a practical demonstration of what a function definition does. Okay, So I'm going to write a function. Okay, I'm going to write a function. Say for example, welcome message. My function name should be welcome message, and I should write a message called as welcome to SKCET. Welcome to Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology. So this should be the message which I have to do. Okay. Now, how to write it? Excuse me. I will just make it out. So to write, is it visible to everyone? Are you able to visualize my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is my task? I should write a function called as welcome message. In that welcome message, I should get a message called as welcome to SKCET. Okay. So I'm going to write a function. So simply write PHP and close this PHP. You already know that this is called as the delimiter of a PHP. You can say that it is called as a delimiter one. So anything you write in between this is called as function definition. So I write like this. I write like this function, and the function name should be welcome message. So I write like this welcome message. I make a bracket open, and you can see here this function. I highlight here this function is called as a keyword, which instructs the Apache server that the function is going to be created. So function is called as a keyword. It is mandatory for functions, all the functions. And the name, which I mentioned here, welcome message, is called as a name of the function. It is called as a name of the function. And I have made an empty brackets here. I don't pass any arguments. If I would want to pass any arguments, then I have to take this. I have to utilize this. Any arguments has to be passed inside this. Okay. And when I write like this curly brackets, I put a curly bracket end over here. Whether I will put up a question now, whether this is called as a function definition. Harita? Harita, are you listening? Harita? Whether this is called as a function definition, Neha?
Yes, sir, it's a function definition.
Yeah, this is called as a function definition. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, Mohan, tell me.
why the function name is not start with the dollar symbol, sir?
See, for function name, there is no need to use a dollar symbol. Okay. Only for variable, you have to use a dollar symbol.
Okay, sir.
Mohan, are you able to understand? The rules is actually for function names, there is no need to use dollar symbol. For variables, you have to use a dollar symbol. Only
Yes,
that makes a difference. Okay.
Yes, sir. Get it, sir.
Okay, clear? Okay. So a function welcome message, and what is the message I have to get? I should get that. I will use a h2 tag here. I will use a h2 tag, and I should get that welcome to SKCET. Okay. So I make a big tag like this and enclose this h2 tag and put like this. Now my intention of writing the function is complete. Okay, but if I try to execute it, I will not get even a single message. Why? What is the reason?
So you didn't call any functions.
Okay, because the function is not being called. Okay, so how to call the function? As I said, the function can be called from inside or it can be called from outside. So I come out of the function, I call it outside. So what is the name of the function? Outcome name is called as welcome message. Okay, so simply I write the name of it, I put a semicolon. So this is called as function call. Called as function call. Okay, I think it's clear now. I will save this. I will also ensure whether it is running properly. So I write like this function.php. Function.php. But before going into that, I have to start my server. So the way of starting the server, I think you know how to start a server. So to start a server, then I have to go here, just click WAM server. So click yes. So this is since it is using a network interface card, it requires certain permissions. Just to give permission to everyone. So when I get a greenish icon, that means your WAM server has been started perfectly. Now we are ready to execute the PHP scripts. You go to any browser, but here I am using Internet Explorer. So I type localhost IT. So IT is the folder which I have created. So now my file name is called as function.php, so that I will get a message called as welcome to SKCT. Okay, so this, you know that this information has been incorporated inside a function. I call the function, it gets executed. I think now it's clear of how to write a function. So any doubts in this? Clear? Any doubts do you have now? Okay. As I said that a function definition is called as a keyword. A keyword means it instructs an Apache server what I'm going to write. Okay. A function body has to be incorporated inside a curly brackets. And function body says what a function is going to do. This is all about the function definition. So I think I'm are you able to understand? Clear? Are you confident how to write a function?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I'll go to the next one. And you can see here, I have given a statement called as function call. So I think I should rush up this session so that we will have some practical exercises to be discussed today so that you can enhance your programming skills. I will give an assignment today. I will also try to solve the assignment step-by-step basis so that you will have a knowledge about how to write the functions, how to just execute it. So function call is a statement which transfers the control from to function definition here. So you can see here, I have 7 lines which is written in a program. 7 lines of code has been written in the program. So the first 5 lines, actually which covers up to function definition. So the last line, that is the 6th line, I have used a, I have simply made a call. Okay, so this PHP also executes in a different fashion, that same fashion as other languages execute. It executes in a top to bottom fashion. So top to bottom, which is on the top line you have PHP, so it won't execute. Then next line you have function A, it won't execute. And you have curly brackets, it won't execute. Then it will come to echo, won't execute, and curly brackets is closed, it won't execute. But when the first line which executes here is called as the function call here. Okay, once it sees the function call, then it automatically jumps to the function definition. The control will get transferred to function definition, and you will get a message called as echo welcome. That means welcome will get printed. Okay, so the first statement which executes here is actually the function call, which is represented as A here. Okay, so this is all about function call. So without function call, the function definition will become a meaningless one. Okay. Can anyone tell me from the code snippets how many times the function will get executed? Is it right?
2 times,
Is it right or wrong? Should I get an error message? Whether I will get an error message or it will execute?
So it will execute, sir. 2 times.
It will execute.
2 times, sir.
It will execute 2 times. And which line is the first executing statement here, Mohandan? Which line is the first executing statement here?
4th line, sir.
The 4th line is the first executing statement. Very good. Exactly. Okay. So SKCT will be called 2 times, but even though I don't have anything in the SKCT, it won't result in any syntax error. Okay, because as per the rules of PHP, it adheres to the rules of PHP. So I won't get any syntax or semantic error here. So it will call 2 times. Since the definition of the function does not have anything inside, it will go and come back. That's all. So I will get an empty output here, but it executes 2 times. So that is the nature of this function call here. I think you are able to get it now. Okay. Now we'll go to the important part called as function parameters. Function parameters. So if you want to have interactive functions or interactive website, if you want to have, then you have to get an input, then pass it as a parameters, and then you have to get back the output. This is the way how you have to write about function parameters. Now listen carefully. A function can have n number of arguments. That is an important part. The prominent part here is it can pass n number of arguments, not one or two. Okay, you can have 0 arguments or you can have n number of arguments. And there are two types of function parameters. One is actual parameters, other is called as formal parameters. So if you have learned C programming, I think most of you have learned C programming, Java programming in your previous semesters. So that you can just make a clarity here. What is the difference between actual parameters and formal parameters? Which is actual, which is formal? Don't take up this question as a question which is posed on in a class. Okay, learn in an interview perspective. Suppose you are sitting in an interview panel and this question is focused towards you. What will be your answer? What is the difference between actual parameters and formal parameters? When you talk about parameters, this too comes to in focus. What is actual? What is formal? Mayappan?
So the parameters which are in the function definition are formal parameters,
Okay.
and the parameters which we pass during the function call is actual parameters.
Okay, the parameters which are in function call is called as actual parameters. I think Neha, you have to. I think some problem in your speaker. I don't know whether there is a problem in mine or yours. I think I'm hearing what you call disturbed noise. Okay, ma. Please ensure whether your audio jack is completely properly fit inside your system. Please check it out. Okay, I'm hearing his noise, but I'm able to capture what you are saying. Okay, so whenever the function call, in a function call, the arguments which are passed in a function call are called as actual parameters, and the parameters which are in the function definition are called as formal parameters. I'll just go to a practical example here. You can say that actual parameters are in the function call and formal parameters are in the function definition. Okay. Now see here, I have written a code snippet here. I have written a code snippet A, comma B, and I have given 10, comma 20. So which is called as actual, which is called as formal. Please don't interpret that what I have written here. Okay. So sometimes even I have written to judge you something I have written in a wrong way. Okay. Please tell me which is actual, which is formal here.
Sir, 10, 20 is actual, sir.
Mayappan, very good. 10, 20 is actual. Yes. What is mean by formal here? Raghu Vignesh.
$A, $B. $A,
Dollar A and $B is called as formal here. Formal here. My question is, if I change the formal arguments, that means if in $A I assign 20 and $B I assign 40, will it change the actual arguments?
No, sir.
No, it will not make an impact on actual parameters. Okay.
Yes.
So it's whether it is call by value or call by reference. Whether it is call by value or call by reference.
It is a call by value, sir.
It is called as call by value. So if I pass an actual arguments and if it does not affect the formal argument, even if any change in formal arguments does not affect the actual arguments, we can say that is called as call by value here. Okay. If it affects, we can say it is called as call by reference. Okay. That's about functions here. And the most important thing here is a function will have a meaningful one. A function will be efficient if it gets some input and if it throws some output. Okay, so it can throw some output to a main function if it has a return value. So until a function is having a return value, you cannot say it is called as a fruitful function. Okay, we have come across in the concept called as Java. I think the same batch I have taught you in first semester. First semester I taught, now you are in fifth semester, isn't it? First semester I taught you a function which has an arguments and which returns some value, we can say that is called as a fruitful function. Okay, but here I have return value. So if a function is having an argument, if it is returning some value, we can say it is called as a fruitful function. So function will be fruitful if it's returns some value. So in this case, I'm having a function called as add, and it returns a value called as 10. So where it will be returned? It will be returned to the location where it has been called. That means the function will return a value to the location on the sixth line. The sixth line, there is a function call, and 10 will be returned to this location. I think it will return to the sixth position here. I think it's clear. Are you able to understand? It's called as returning a function. Okay. Now I think I have come to an assignment part. I want every one of you to get interactive today. I will solve this one on step-by-step basis so that we can listen carefully and you can solve it on your own. Okay. So that I will give you some other assignments. You can solve this. Can you visualize what I have given here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us assume that there is a pandemic situation and our country is facing a turbulent time at the moment of course of time. So what they have planned is this is actually a hypothetical question. Okay, let us imagine that government wants to give scholarship to all the students, and it is fixing up a criteria. So out of 8 semesters, if you are scoring 80% in at least 4 semesters, and you are eligible. And if your age is from 21 to 25, you are eligible. So if these two conditions are met out, you should get information called as you are eligible for scholarship. Otherwise, you should get an information that you are ineligible for scholarship. I think you are able to capture my question. Are you able to visualize this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have given that you should have at least 2 functions here. You should have at least 2 functions, and the function should have an argument, and you are supposed to solve this. Finally, I should get an answer whether you are eligible or ineligible. Okay. So I will solve this on the step-by-step basis. Clear? Any doubts in this? Can you solve it? Should I solve it? I will solve step-by-step basis. Okay. So your active attention is required now. So listen carefully. I want an interaction from this class. So what is the first condition I have to meet out? My age should be from 21 to 25. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So $age, I give an age called as 22. Okay. Now, what is the second input I should get? The second input should be marks. In that, out of 7 semesters, I can have 8 semesters, but only first 7 semesters are taken into account. Okay. So I make like this marks. Okay. I make like this marks, and the mark should be an array. So how to write an array? I have to write like this: marks equal to array. That means I can have 8 semesters, but what should I count? I should count only up to 7 semesters here. Let us assume that in the first semester I have scored 78, second semester I score 82, third semester I score 56, fourth semester again 89, fifth semester 81, sixth semester 65, seventh semester 84. And 8th semester is 90%. I close this. I think you have 8 values here, isn't it? Clear? Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what should I do? I have to check the age first. Okay. What I said, I should write a function here. I should write a function here to check the age, and I should write a function called as to check the eligibility for marks also. So now I write a function. So how to write a function? So write function check underscore age. Okay, in that I pass like this dollar age. So when I am eligible here, when I am eligible,
If
if
the
the
age
age is
is between 21
if
and
the
25,
age is
sir.
greater than or equal to 21 and if it is less than or equal to 25, then I am eligible. So how to write the condition? If age greater than or equal to 21, greater than or equal to 21, and how to use and here? Double and symbol. Okay. And dollar age less than or equal to 25. So if this is the case, simply return true. Else return false. I think Boolean, you should not use double quotes. I'm using just writing like this directly because it is considered the Boolean data type. Okay, so this function will check the age and return true or false. If false is returned, you are not eligible for the scholarship. If true is returned, of course you are eligible for the scholarship. Okay, so this is case number 1. It has been done. So what is the next step I have to do here? What is the next step? This is very important. I want to check your logic. How will you do this? Any idea about this? Now you have to check the semester here. Anyone from girls, IT girls can answer, ma.
Sir, we can create another function to check the
Neha, I think you are the only person who are answering. I want answers from others. Let others answer. What about Mahalakshmi? What is the logic? How will you do this? How will you do this? Ritika? Ritika, Narmada is there?
Yes, sir.
Narmada, how will you do this, ma? So please, if you are able to answer, you can say that you are ready to answer. Otherwise, you can keep mum. No issues. Okay. So nothing wrong if you are answering in a wrong fashion. Nothing wrong. So I want everyone to be interactive. That's all. So what is the first step? How will you do this, ma? Do you have any idea about this?
So we have to create another function to check.
Okay, very good. Okay, ma, very good. You have to create another function and you have to return true or false. And I'll just go to the next one. Samyukta. Samyukta, are you hearing? Sanjita? Yeah, Sanjita ma, tell me. What should I do after this? Anyhow, I'm going to work it out. You can answer.
Sir, I have to create a function for the array, sir.
Okay. Okay. Think Kushal Bafna. Kushal Bafna. What should I do now? Function?
Sir, compare each and every mark. If it is
Okay,
above
each and
80,
every
it is
mark.
fine.
Okay. Okay, very good, very good. So Kushal Bafna, check it out. So I check marks here. Okay, check marks, and in this marks I will get an array here. What is the array name? I directly make it as marks here. I pass the array. Okay, I come over here. Now what should I do? I have to check all the semesters up to 7th semester. I have to check up to 7 semesters. So here comes the problem. But I have 8 semesters here. So what should I do? I have to check up to 7 semesters. So what should I do is I make like this. I make an index like this for I equal to 0. 0 means it checks the first semester. Okay. And $I less than. So what is the length of an array? How will you find the length of an array? I have to use count like this. When I use count, what is the name of an array? It is called as marks. Okay. So marks here. So the length will be now 8 because I have 8 elements inside. So length will be, count of marks will be 8. So now I span from 0 to 7.
So
I span from 0 to 7. That means it will go to the 8th semester. I don't want to go to 8th semester. Up to 7th semester, I have to check. What should I do?
Minus
so
-1, exactly. Very good. Now, $I plus plus. So count is used to check the length of an array. Okay. So this is a function here. Now what should I do? If the marks is greater than or equal to 80, then I have to count. That means in 4 semesters, out of 7 semesters, in 4 semesters, I should have scored above 80 here. So that's what the condition is given. So 80% of marks in at least 4 semesters, out of 7 semesters. So this is the condition which has been given. So how to check it out? So yes, Mayappan, can we tell me if, yeah.
If dollar mark of I
Yes, if dollar marks of I
greater than 80,
greater than or equal to 80,
you want to use another variables for counting.
greater than or equal to 80, then what should I do? I have to use a variable called as count variable. Okay. So I make count is equal to, initially it is 0. When this is eligible, when the marks count is more than 4, then you are eligible. Okay. If you have scored actually if you have scored 80% for 3 times, you are not eligible. You are ineligible for scholarship. So what should I do if the condition is meet? Yes, tell me, ma.
So count is a keyword. Can we use the variable count?
See, count, actually that is a built-in function, but the variable count here is called as dollar here, ma. Whenever I use dollar, that will be considered as a different variable. You don't bother about.
Okay.
Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is a difference between. I think you are actually sticking to the rules of C language. So if there is a keyword called as int, I cannot use that int as a variable, because int and variable does not have, both are identical at the moment. But here, count is a function here. When I use dollar before that, that will be considered as a variable. Here, dollar makes the difference. Okay. Even if you use dollar count, that will not be accounted as a built-in count here. Okay, you can use now. So to avoid confusion, you can use even C and B, no issues. Okay, I make like this. So what is this statement? It is called as a compound statement. Am I right? This is called as a compound statement. Okay. Now, what you have to do now is, actually, you have to return the value. When you have to return true, if the count value is greater than or equal to 4, at the time you have to return true. Now you just compare this. If $count is greater than or equal to 4, now simply return true. Return true. Okay. Else return false. Return false. I think I have returned both the functions here. One function is to check the age and return whether you are eligible or not. Another function is return your semester marks, check your semester marks and return eligible or not. Now I have to write the main course here. Okay. If I am eligible in both the cases, what should I do? If I am eligible in both the cases, what should I do?
sir, printing you are eligible for a
You are eligible for scholarship. Okay. If I am getting that in one case I am eligible and in another case I am not eligible, what should I get?
You are not eligible for a scholarship.
Not eligible, exactly. That is the answer. So I make like this $E1. This is called as eligible one. Now I make check underscore age and I pass age here. This will pass the age and it will check in E1 whether it is true or false. E1 will get an answer called as true or false. Just I make a call here. Now, next is $E1. Yeah, E2. Check marks here. Checks marks here. I think function name is marks. Okay. Marks here. I pass the array here. Now, E2 also will return either true or false. Now I have to write it. How will you write it? If both the conditions are true, I should get I am eligible. If one condition is false, I should get that I am not eligible. So how will you write this logic? Can anyone tell me?
Sir,
Apart from Mukundan, Mayappan, Kushal, Neha, apart from these people, others should answer. Because these people are the most frequent people who are answering in the class. Now I'm getting in E1, I'll be getting true or false. In E2 also I'm getting true or false. In both the cases I am returning true, I should get that I am eligible. If I'm returning false in any one case, I should get a value that I am not eligible for scholarship. Okay, this is the last statement. How to write it? Please be interactive.
Sir,
Yes, who is answering, ma?
Mahalakshmi sir.
Mahalakshmi, tell me, ma. Very good.
If of E1 equal to true.
Okay, yes, Mahalakshmi. If dollar of E1 equal to true, okay. And
Yeah, dollar of E2 equal to true.
Dollar of E2 equal to true, okay, ma.
Echo. You are eligible.
Okay, you are eligible for scholarship. Okay.
Else echo.
Else echo.
You are not eligible for scholarship.
You are not eligible. Else echo. You are not eligible. You can say not eligible. Very good, ma. Good. I think I will just make in a bold size. H1 tag. I will show you some of the interesting part at the end of this PHP class. I want you to design pages like this. Okay. I'll show you how I have designed. I have used Bootstrap and PHP to design a page. I will show you. Now, yeah, I think I save this file and I run this file. I should get eligible, I think somewhere line number 30. So line number 30, I get an error here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yes, this is a mistake here. Yeah. So I'll show this. Close this one. I should get some answer here. Getting a lot of errors. Constant I. Function index. Line number 16. Unused constant assumed I. $I. Okay. So somewhere I have not used dollar here. Yes, I should use dollar here. Yes, yeah. Dollar here. So this happens whenever you write a very big, huge code. This actually happens. So you have to be very careful while writing the code. So I should get some answer here. Yes, you are eligible for scholarship because out of 7 semesters, you have scored 80 in 4 to 5 semesters seems to be. So you are eligible. Okay. Now, I think Mahalakshmi, very good Mahalakshmi, excellent. Okay, now instead of writing E1 equal to true and E2 equal to true, you can also write in a shortcut way. Listen carefully. You can write $E1 and $E2 also. What happens in this case?
So both are true and it will enter.
If both are true, automatically the entire condition is true because and nature is like that. When two conditions are true, the entire condition is true. So you are eligible for scholarship. You will get the same answer. Okay. Even if you write equal to true, that is equivalent to this. You can write a shortcut fashion like this also. So you'll get the same answer. So yes, of course you are getting the same answer. Now I change the input here. Listen carefully, you are getting 82, so I'm making it as 79, and you are getting 81 here and making this as 78. I think obviously you should get one condition fails here. So one condition fails means you are ineligible for scholarship. So okay, condition number 2 fails here. So I should get a message called as not eligible. Okay, I think you are clear. Any doubts in using the functions and solving the examples here? Any doubts, ma? Do you have anything? Any doubts? Okay, so to make you in an interesting way, I will show you that this page has been done with the help of Bootstrap and PHP. Are you able to visualize my screen here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I want you to design professional websites like this. We are supposed at the end of this course, you are supposed to develop professional websites like this. So my intention is that. So you should be, I think you are able to visualize my screen, isn't it? So whatever, I'm just highlighting it. So it is glowing here. So here I'm getting a menu here. So logout is here. So information, dashboard, all these things I have designed. So at the end of this course, you should be able to design a full stack. You should be a full stack web developer. Okay. So I'll make you to do that. So with this, any doubts in functions now? Are you able to understand how to use functions, how to return a value, how to process it? How to process it? Are you able to understand?
Sir.
Okay, pa. Do you have any doubts now? Any doubts do you have? Akash? Do you have any doubts?
Sir.
No,
Sir.
Abhinandan?
Sir.
Do you have any doubts, Abhinandan?
No, sir.
Aravind Hariharan? Is there? Okay. Chandana?
No, sir.
Okay, ma. So if no queries is there, thank you, and we will discuss in the next class. Please hope that whatever doubts you have, please feel free to post me a question. I think majority of the people are under Tree 1 training also. I'm also a trainer over there. So please feel free to ask me the questions. Whenever time permits, I will be responding to your queries because I'm tied up with so many works. And I'll be responding to your queries also when time permits. So please keep posting that, and whatever doubts is there, please get clarified. Yes, any questions? Yeah.
One doubt, sir.
Yes, Mohan, tell me, ba.
Sir, the PHP நம்ம எழுதுவோம்ல sir.
ஆமா.
அதுல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா arrow mark அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து question mark போட்டு PHP ன்னு எழுதுவோம்ல sir.
ஆமா, arrow mark போட்டு question mark போட்டு ஆமா PHP ன்னு எழுதுவோம். சொல்லுங்க.
அந்த arrow mark அப்புறம் வந்து நான் ஒரு ஸ்பேஸ் விட்டுட்டு PHP எழுதும்போது எனக்கு PHP ஒர்க் ஆகல sir.
arrow mark விட்டுட்டு PHP ன்னு போடக்கூடாது. ஸ்பேஸ் கொடுக்க கூடாது. சரியா? மூந்தன்.
Yes sir.
arrow mark போட்டு question mark போட்டு அதுக்கு அப்புறம் PHP க்கு நடுவுல எந்த ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்க கூடாது. என்னன்னா that is called as a delimiter. எப்படி நம்ம hash include போறோம், hash include போட்டுட்டு ஒரு 2-3 ஸ்பேஸ் கொடுத்துட்டு நம்ம stdio.in போட்டா எடுத்துக்கிறது இல்லையா?
Yes sir.
எப்படி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? அதே மெத்தடாலஜி தான் இங்கேயும். அது ஒரு சின்டாக்ஸ் அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay sir.
Hello.
Okay sir.
Okay pa. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, we'll wind up the session. So thanks for listening with patience. In the afternoon, most probably it will be an untidy session. So maximum I have tried my effort to make it fruitful. So with this, if no questions there, we will wind up. Thank you and Jai Hind. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.